May as well jump straight into it. Put your phone down, Ben. Hey, everybody. That's all of us. Ben, Jarrett, Sam, Glenn.
Hey, I'm Jarrett.
Hey, I'm Ben.
Oh my. I can't remember.
Okie dokie. Let's just jump straight into a Thursday night round of Lucky Dip where we pluck names out of this and we talk about them. Ben has put some extra ones in there tonight.
Oh.
Interesting.
So it's a true
Sam,
lucky
you can go
dip.
first, though. Yeah, you can go first.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wait, do I always go first?
Please, Crossroads.
I think we've already had Crossroads, right?
Yeah.
Like a
We
million
certainly have.
times. Alright, I got one. Ah, classic. Can you
Can't read it.
see it? Oh, Lockstock.
Oh, yeah, right. Cool.
Yeah.
Guy Ritchie's first.
Guy
Was it his
Ritchie.
first?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
first
think it
feature.
was. Yeah.
And a fantastic companion piece to Crossroads.
Actually, I think they might have been released around the same year,
Yeah.
2002.
And I believe there's some crossover characters.
Do you know what I took out of Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels the most? Is the fact that the guy from Press Gang was in it.
Dexter Fletcher.
Yeah,
Can I-
that's all I could think about the whole time. I'm like, hey,
Yeah.
and
I
he's
loved
not
it.
American.
Yes, I loved him
Yeah.
in Press Gang, so it was good to see him turn up as a bit of a geezer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, people accuse this film of being a Tarantino-esque movie, but it was just the time for it.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
it.
it
Yeah.
In style, it had the style, but it was definitely more akin to like the classic British gangster films.
Yeah.
You know, the
100%.
late 60s.
Or even you
through
get
the early
Carter's, like, you know,
80s,
like it's
yeah.
just...
And his
I think-
visual style is a lot closer to like Sam Raimi type.
Yeah,
with
totally.
the pans and the fast cuts and
Yeah,
stuff like that.
yeah,
Than he is
yeah.
like Tarantino doesn't do any of that stuff.
No.
Yeah.
What,
No,
I think it was
nothing in the same
completely
genre.
British. I like everything about it just screams England, and the fact that Guy Ritchie is English, obviously, but I never
And
I
he
never
was
Yeah,
that
yeah.
kind
yeah.
of South London kind of.
Mm,
yeah, and,
Yeah.
And for a good while there, like his films sort of towed the same line. He really built a brand for himself, which
Absolutely.
yeah.
he's sort of come around.
I've never
Come
heard
full
the
circle, but it
Tarantino
feels
thing.
like now the films that he's making, it's like he's sort of less about sort of emulating other people's style and really creating his own distinct style.
Yeah,
with the
leaning
films he's
into the
doing.
Guy Ritchieisms.
Yeah,
and stuff.
yeah,
wasn't-
absolutely.
Wasn't Swept Away the one
Yeah.
that was like the first one that was completely against type, and everyone
Yeah.
was like, "Why is Guy
Yeah.
Ritchie
Yeah,
doing this?"
absolutely.
And then,
Mm.
and you thought it was almost the end of his career, that whole
Yeah,
Madonna stuff.
yeah,
and then,
yeah.
and then he gets like Sherlock Holmes, which you're like, how did he get
Yeah,
Sherlock
totally.
Holmes?
Yeah.
It's a studio movie.
But
Totally.
it still infused his Guy Ritchieisms into
Yeah.
it. Even
Absolutely.
Aladdin, you can
Yeah.
watch that and you're like, this is a Guy Ritchie film.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Which is-
We don't upset too many people on the internet by
Like
talking about
Frank
Aladdin.
Daft. Yeah.
Well, also Will Smith,
Yeah.
so we better steer clear of that one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
What
was
about that? Yeah.
Anyway, all right,
Touchy
thank you, Sam.
subject.
And you're a fan of the film. Obviously, you put that in that little.
Yeah, 100%. Love it.
I thought you said no.
Because I picked it up on Blu-ray not too long ago, and I watched the making of, and it's a really good,
Oh, yeah.
like
Comprehensive.
like
Are you talking
behind the
about
scenes
Aladdin?
stuff where they show like some of the problems he's having, and he's like talking about how like some people didn't take him too seriously because he's so young, and
Ah.
like the stress of doing it on the shoots because they it was an incredibly short shooting window and
Yeah,
all
yeah.
that sort of stuff, and how none of them really knew what they were doing, so they're just trying to kind of what is it like they use they kind of toughed it out. They kind of
Right,
just
yeah,
used
yeah,
their
yeah.
bravado to push
Yeah.
it through and
Yeah.
stuff, and they were
I might-
And it was a
yeah.
name maker, Jason Statham.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
after doing
Mm.
that, then he pretty much was the breakaway.
Yeah.
And even old mate, what's his name? The guy that was in Mean Machine and
Vinnie Jones.
Vinnie Jones. Like
Totally.
after he got that role for another decade or so, and now not so much.
Not so
Now
much.
he's doing the Masked Singer.
he's turned into
Is
like,
he really?
He did the Aussie one
Yeah,
last
he
year.
was
Oh
on
my
the
God.
Aussie
but he's
one.
like Vince Vaughn standing
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
like around the same shape and the same
Yeah.
size. But who would have thought?
Mm.
Like of everyone in that movie,
Yeah.
all the good-looking
Yeah, totally.
yes.
guys and stuff, you're like, it's the bald guy
It's
that's going to be the
Statham.
breakout star,
Yeah.
and become like
Yeah,
one of the biggest
totally.
action stars.
I
in the
might
world.
just add a
Yeah.
point of reference here. It was one of the first two DVDs I ever purchased. I
Yeah,
bought Sixth
yeah.
Sense and Lock, Stock together, so same
Yeah,
purchase.
yep.
First DVDs I've ever owned. And then-
Early days of
And
DVD.
then the next DVDs I ever owned was when you used to buy a DVD player and you get 5 in it.
Yes,
Yeah.
while you were sleeping.
While you were sleeping,
Jungle.
Snake Eyes,
Jungle, what is it? Tim Allen one? Was it Jungle?
Jungle to Jungle, yeah.
Yeah.
Classic.
Oh,
role.
Three Musketeers.
Yep.
And I can't remember the last one because I bought the same DVD player.
Well,
got the 5
Snake Eyes.
DVDs.
Snake
Snake
Eyes.
Eyes, yes, which was awesome. Brian De Palma,
Yeah.
incredible.
So my copies of those are from
Yeah.
that bundle.
Yeah, it's got the not for sale on the back,
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
barcode. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've still got them too.
Yeah, well, they're nostalgic, mate.
Yeah.
All right, Jarrett, you want to
All right, let me
dive in?
dig into this thing. This is so much better than the spitballing. I tell you
See,
what.
I love the spitball.
Oh, the Ypres file with Michael Caine.
Michael Caine.
You
oh.
Wow.
wrote this, didn't you?
Yeah, he's
It's Ben. It's
you
got
can-
Ben written all over it.
You can tell they're mine because it's
Lazy.
yeah, it's half text, and then I just haven't bothered cutting the bit of text.
Now, this is
Ripping it
like the
off.
Harry Palmer. Was it a trilogy? There was like the $1 Billion Brain, which was directed by Ken
And
Russell.
Funeral in Berlin.
Funeral in Berlin.
You've,
Yes,
you've chosen
yes.
this for the show before, haven't you? We've talked about
no,
it
I
on the
think
show
I
before.
talked about there's another movie something Windmill,
Mm.
which I didn't know existed, but it's basically Kane is playing like the Harry
Ah.
Palmer character, like
Yeah.
But this time he's got a kid, and the kid's been kidnapped,
Oh, right.
and
Yeah,
because they're trying to turn him,
Mm.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
and there's like
Find his
it's-
weakness.
Yeah, like it's
Yeah.
because they're based on Len Dayton novels, I
Mm.
believe, the Ypres File.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And so there's like all of those ones. There's like a bunch of them, so they can theoretically keep making movies. I think that Funeral in Berlin or the Man with a $1 Billion Brain, the one with Lee Marvin, whichever one that was.
Yeah.
They got a bit outrageous. Like it
Right.
kind of started getting into that kind of Modesty Blaze
Okay. Yeah.
territory where they tried to, or Fathom, where they tried to, make it more of a Bond type
Yeah.
spectacle, and
Yeah.
it didn't
Yeah.
really
Resonate
work.
with
But
people. But people like the spy aspect
Like
more than the
they
hyper
definitely-
realism.
It's much better as the spy who came in from the cold
Yeah.
type
Mhm.
dark thriller rather than a light,
Yeah. Well, this actually works really well with Lock, Stock because you're going back to like not so much the British gangster, but the British crime sort of film. You know?
Mm.
I
Yeah.
actually started watching. There's a show on, I think it's Paramount Plus. That There's Spy World or Spy thing or something like that. But
Spyland.
It's set in Third Man territory, so it's set
Right.
in
Spy Kids.
Yes.
Berlin. Yeah, that's it. Set in Berlin post World War II.
Right.
So it's
Ah.
the Americans, the French, and the English are all on one side, and then Russia on the other side of Berlin, and it's all of the
Haven't heard of it.
the kind of thing. It's on Paramount Plus.
Okay.
It's actually really good.
They spent all the money on that series and they couldn't get the perfect score of Crossroads on there.
There's a podcast reference. Go back to Monday's episode and have a listen. Ben.
Oh, my turn.
Oh, it's $1 Billion
If
Brain.
it's a fat one, it's Ben's.
It looks like Ben's handwriting,
No,
I
this
think,
one could
on
be
it.
one. Purple Rain. I don't think it is mine.
Purple rain.
Purple rain.
Yes, what a film. I've seen it twice now.
This is
Saw
what
it
it feels
first time
like.
theatrically with this guy
Ah.
And what an
Uh,
experience that
at
was.
the Croydon Cinema.
Yeah.
It was terrific.
Like, that's the first time I've seen it on the big screen. I'll tell you what, I loved it on the
Yeah.
big screen.
I think we were the only people that were there maybe together. Everyone else sort of like was just
Yeah, it was a date.
by themselves. Yeah, it was beautiful. It was the morning after the closing night of Monster Fest, I feel.
So you were worse for wears?
I was pretty bad, yeah. But you know.
Nicely trashed.
Yeah.
Have you
yeah.
seen Purple Rain, Sam?
I haven't. No, I haven't.
It is so good. Like, even if you don't like Prince, because I
Mm.
remember you weren't
Mm.
really across Prince at the time. Like,
No.
you didn't think highly
Gave,
much
gave
of him.
me a deeper appreciation
Yeah,
for him.
and when
yeah.
you
Yeah.
watch this film, not only is it like a Prince showcase,
Mm.
it's stylistic.
It's,
It's
yeah,
got
really
a
well
lot of
stylized.
gravity to it.
And it's a fast, punchy movie too.
Yeah.
Like it just
Yes.
moves from set piece to set piece.
Is Morris Day in the Time or Sheila E. in it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Morris
yeah.
Day in the Time
Morris
is a
Day,
huge
yeah,
part of it.
massive
for sure.
time.
Do they do Jungle Love? Oh, we, oh,
Well,
we, oh, we.
yeah, they do. They do.
They do,
Yeah.
because it finally made sense to me, the whole Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back thing.
Right.
Right.
As soon as it was like the penny dropped while I was watching. I was like, it makes a lot of sense now. Kevin Smith, obsessed with Prince.
Yeah.
Has a great Prince story. And
Yeah.
no. But yeah,
It does. Yeah.
cool film.
It
Really
is-
well stylized. But
Mm.
admittedly, in my opinion, maybe the only Prince film you need to see, because I did watch Under a Cherry Moon and Graffiti Bridge afterward, and I was like not super
No,
impressed.
Graffiti Bridge is the sequel
Yeah.
to
okay.
Purple Rain, and Prince directed it. He
Yeah.
directed
Yeah.
the Cherry one as well.
Yeah.
Um,
Admittedly, that one I didn't mind so much because of the period setting, whereas Graffiti Bridge I was sort
The
of like
odd,
felt like
the
a
odd thing about
yeah.
Graffiti Bridge, one, it's kind of the difference between Saturday Night Fever and Staying Alive. Like, it's this
Yeah.
real
Yes.
weird update,
Yeah.
but it's also soundstaged.
right.
So there's those
yeah.
scenes when he pulls up on his motorbike on a bridge, but it's like a Wizard of Oz bridge. Like it's
Yeah.
so, and the
Yeah.
flowers are like plastic, and
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
so weird.
Not right.
No.
Maybe right to watch.
And the
under
music's not that
influence
good.
Of good drugs, but not necessarily good to watch.
But the
any other
music
time.
of Graffiti Bridge is nowhere up
No,
to par with,
no.
up to snuff with the Purple Rain stuff.
Mm.
And the
Timeless.
themes in Purple Rain are so heavy. Like, there's a lot of domestic
Oh, God,
violence in
yeah,
there and
yeah,
shit.
yeah.
And but the thing is, he is Prince playing a wife beater or a girlfriend beater because he's following what his father used to do to his mother, and yet he's fighting against his father because of what his father's
Yeah.
doing. Like, but it's very aware of what
Yeah.
what that is.
Isn't
Yeah.
that like, what was it? When the doves cry, isn't that like what that song's kind of all about? Like
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
I'm just like my
My
father.
father,
Yeah,
yeah.
and this is the
Yeah.
thing in the movie is that so he is the thing he hates.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
and it's and he
The
does
Kid.
have,
Is that his name in
The
it?
Kid, yeah.
Yeah, I really want to watch it again.
and he hates himself for
Yeah.
it. So it's a very interesting dynamic they got going. there.
I bought it like on Blu-ray probably a week after we saw it, and then I swear it was like a few months later they did a remastered edition. And I was like, of course that happened. Of course that happened.
It is always,
Yeah.
without fail, since Prince passed, it is always one of the cheapest Blu-rays.
Oh
that
my
you can
god!
get.
You can walk into JB, and
Yeah.
I probably
It's like
still to this
$7
day.
kind of thing.
Yes, all three of them.
Yeah.
and you can pretty much get them. And during 20%
There was a triple
off,
pack at one
yeah,
point.
Yeah, it was.
It's
yeah.
like a box.
It was more expensive to buy that than buy the three individually.
Yeah, yeah, but no, that's a good one. I was going to add something to that, but I can't remember what I was going to say. But yeah, no, it's good. It's a cult film, real cult film.
Absolutely
Yeah.
massive cult.
Midnight
movie.
screenings would be good of that one.
Yeah,
I'd go to
that
one.
would be great for a 4K remaster and put that back in cinemas with a really pumping Atmos soundtrack.
Oh, the Purple Rain moment in it too. Like, it's a real showcase moment, which
Oh.
Rage used to play all the time.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like they did with Ziggy Stardust, they'd always
Yeah.
play that one moment from the film. And
At 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the
Yeah.
morning.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
Purple Rain. Like,
Yeah.
and I used to hate watching that music video until I saw the film, and
Yeah.
it just all clicked.
Mm.
But all right, my one now. Oh, this is a long one. No, it's not. It's one of Ben's. Stormy Monday. I haven't seen Stormy
yes.
Monday.
Yes, Melanie Griffith.
I think Melanie Griffith, Sean Bean,
Yes.
Ooh.
Sting.
Cool
Ooh.
film. Cool film. I didn't. I think I found the Blu-ray at the record store, and then you were like, "Are you gonna buy it?" And I was like, "Oh no, man. You want it?" And he goes, "I want to buy it." And I was like, "All right then." So he bought
heard
it,
of it. He
and
must
then
have
I
it.
ended up buying it later because he goes, "Oh, it's really good." And
I'm
like,
guessing, Sam, you've never heard of it?
I haven't. No, I haven't
No.
seen it.
It's like a gangster kind of film.
Yeah.
Tommy Lee Jones is in it as well.
Yeah.
I reckon I would
Ah.
know the
It's
poster
a big
probably.
cast.
but,
It's basically like illustrated version of her face, but with lots of pinks
gonna
and
look that up.
purples and things
It's vaguely
sort of
familiar.
done through.
The tape
But
is
Sting's a hard ass in it too. He's a bit of a kingpin, isn't he? Yeah.
Well, because he owns a nightclub in like Soho or something.
Yeah.
And it's I think it's set in the 80s. And Sean Bean is like the young guy who's kind of
Doing
looking
all
for
that.
work. And
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
just gets a job as a kind of a barman kind of thing, bouncer.
Yeah.
And at the time, Sting is being pressured to sell by some other gangsters who want to take over the club, and
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
threaten to kneecap him, but he's just as hard as they
That's
are.
right.
And,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then Tommy Lee Jones comes in, like Melanie Griffiths. I think Sean Bean spots her across the road and kind of falls for her,
Yeah.
and she
yeah.
kind of likes him. But then Tommy Lee Jones comes over from America, and he's like a mob kind of guy, and he wants to do a deal. He's kind of behind trying to get Sting's club, but he's trying to also like deal in drugs, and
So it's another club movie.
it's a
Yeah, and also another British gangster film.
Wow.
I
yeah.
was gonna say Sting is
There you go,
in
it's a
Lock, Stock.
reoccurring
So
motif.
The way I did all of these when I wrote them out is I literally turned around, looked at my Blu-ray collection, and went, "You've seen that one?
Yeah,
Seen
yeah.
that one?"
All right. Well, simply because you're our guest on the desk,
awesome.
you
I
can
get-
do one
You
more
get a bonus one.
bonus round.
Oh, Can't Buy Me Love. Great. Patrick
Oh,
Dempsey.
yeah.
oh
the
yeah,
young
yeah.
lass that passed away, unfortunately, maybe about
Amanda
5
Gibbons?
years.
No, is it?
Yeah, Amanda something.
I thought it was, it's
Amanda.
what's her name? Ryan Reynolds' wife's sister.
Yeah, right. Oh, yeah.
Robin
Lively.
Robin. No, is it her? Is it Robin Lively? No, she's from Teen Witch.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, I
the
think
other
that.
one.
But it had one of the coolest taglines. I remember it was like, he's gone from totally zero to totally hero.
No. And
great.
Patrick Dempsey went through this real phase of movies in the 80s.
Yes.
Woo Woo Kid.
Yeah.
This one, even Meatballs 3. Like,
Yeah,
he was a
yeah.
real poster kind of
Mm.
actor.
Yeah.
But the weirdest thing I've always found about Patrick Dempsey is that, like, so he's in all these movies. He's irresistible to women in most of them,
Mm.
but yet he looked like a total nerd.
Yes.
Mm.
Yes.
Which so I didn't.
That was the
understand.
point, though, right?
Sorry?
That was the point, wasn't it?
Well, I
Yeah.
guess so.
I think he
And-
was the
Yeah.
good-hearted geek, you know, sort
Yeah.
of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he kind of disappeared, and then all of a sudden he popped up in Outbreak as like a
junkie.
junkie type,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
yeah.
liberation.
It wasn't that he was a
Guy?
junkie, he was infected.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
infected, so
Yeah.
he looked like a junkie, but he was
Yeah.
just like
Yeah.
he was trying to free the monkey,
Yeah.
Yeah.
free
Mm.
the infected monkey.
Free the mahi mahi.
Free the monkey.
And then all of a sudden
Yeah.
he gets McDreamy on
Grey's
Grey's
Anatomy,
Anatomy,
I know.
and all of a sudden he's like one of the best looking men
I
in Hollywood.
know.
You're like,
Yeah, Bridget Jones's baby.
It was-
Yeah, I know. It was like a massive jump. It was like James Spader played the hard ass, evil prick, whatever during most of the 80s. Then he became like a
The-
kind of like
the
a
tough
nerd
turf,
sort of.
and-
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
and
Oh,
then-
and bald and fat.
Yeah, and
And
then
bald,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, totally,
But yes,
almost
but-
overnight.
And
Yeah,
but somehow he's dream lover, and you're like, how is this?
yeah,
happening?
I know.
But-
Crazy.
I mean, it was one of those
Yeah.
things though that I remember. Like, I remember when it happened, and I was like, it just seems to be that if the internet says this person is attractive,
Yeah,
then it's like everyone drinks the Kool-Aid, and all of a sudden they
Yeah.
are, and you're like, oh, how is this?
But at the same time, like, he was a pin-up boy in the 80s, so there was a
Yeah.
McDreaminess about him.
I guess because he's got that
Mm.
quality, say like a Corey Haim or something like that, where he's sort of like boyish looking.
Because by
you
the
know?
end of these movies, though, by the
Yeah.
end of these movies, they take the glasses off and he's
Oh,
suddenly
yeah.
cool. You
Yeah,
know?
totally.
Yeah.
He's not. He was never like a James Spader. Like James Spader was legitimately
Good looking.
like
Yeah.
classically
Yeah.
good looking.
Yeah,
Whereas Patrick
absolutely.
Dempsey
Yeah.
was always like a little too skinny. He's
a
Twerpy.
little,
little
Twerpy.
lanky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had
Mm.
like he had the curly kind of hair. He looked like he had a lot of acne, even though he didn't. But he looked like the kind of person
Yeah.
who would have a lot
Yeah,
of acne.
yeah.
Yeah.
So he was not your typical like he wasn't like a square jawed typical like
No.
all American boy.
It was
Yeah.
genuinely a revelation when Grey's Anatomy started, and I did not watch it, but realized that it was him, and that all these people were fawning over him, and I'm like, oh my god, I remember when he
Yeah.
was like. But I also do know that when my sister was young and I grew up, I saw all these movies because she did like him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But maybe not
Mm.
openly, didn't have posters of him, but clearly there was some
There's
sort
a
of
thing.
draw to him. Yeah.
yeah,
Mm.
he's also in those kind of movies. But did you know
Yeah.
that the woman who wrote Grey's Anatomy also wrote Crossroads?
Ah, yes. There you go.
It's on the right.
Fucking
Yeah.
hell.
Full circle.
Yeah, that's great. Can't buy me
Well,
love.
you were right about the roundabout comment. Like,
Yeah.
it should have been called Roundabout, not Crossroads. Fucking hell. Everything comes around.
I can tie it into
What a
anything.
movie.
And we didn't talk about Can't Buy Me Love, but,
Barely. Yeah, well,
I did like the remake too. The
Yeah.
Love Don't Cost a Thing with
That's right.
Yeah.
my
what's
wife
her
loves
name?
this
Milian.
movie. My
That was
wife loves
produced
this
by
movie.
Paramount.
Christina Milian
funnily
and Nick Castle, who
Probably
would then go
greenlit
on.
by Brian.
He's referencing the podcast. For some people that watch these and have
Yeah,
no
sorry.
idea.
Yeah, well, if you're watching this, you need to listen to the podcast. Come on. It's the bread and
Like,
butter.
why would you be watching this if you didn't listen to the
Because it's
podcast?
shorter and easier.
Yeah, well, yeah.
But you got to actually watch it. Like
Yeah.
it's something that you do when you're on the toilet. But it's not something that you can do while you're taking the dog for a
Well,
walk or driving to work.
I hope you're all enjoying your shit. We're happy to get you through.
We've been pleased to be your oral accompaniment as your
I think you'll find that this show has
Exercising.
50% more fiber than any other podcast.
Well, maybe they sit there longer because they wait till they get to the end of this, you know? So,
We'll have caused that ring. Like when you get off the toilet, there's that ring, that red ring around your ass because you've been sitting there so long waiting for it to end.
we need to sign off with a wipe or something. I don't know. We'll flush ourselves out at the end of the show. Sam, thank you so much again.
Yeah,
It's
no
always
worries.
fun to talk to you every week.
Yeah, thanks.
And
I just want to leave everyone with this note.
Is it something
Over
to
the
do with
last
your bowel?
week, I got a bidet. So
What?
there you
Are
go.
you
Wow.
serious?
Yep.
Hang on a second. This
What?
video just
Do
got
you
longer.
really have one at your
This
house?
is
Well,
interesting.
I've got
Is this after a conversation we had?
No, funnily enough,
Because I love
Did-
bidets.
Did you manage to sell the lobby chair yet?
Yeah, no.
Oh, okay.
And is it a bidet hose or a bidet bidet?
It is a it is like a plastic kind of thing that goes across that you take off the toilet
Yep.
seat.
Yep.
You put it in the thing, and it's got a little device there, and you've got on the side you got two little handles.
Squirt your date.
And you squirts, and it it
Oh.
feels like someone is touching your soul. It goes right up there, and you're like suddenly you start twitching in one
Wow.
eye, and like an ear involuntarily kind
That's
of
amazing.
moves.
Now I should
Yeah.
tell everybody, like for many years, I had a bidet, and it was
Yes.
the greatest thing on earth. And I wish I had it when that great toilet paper shortage happened,
Oh my
because
god, yes.
it would have been the
yes.
best, and I would have been
Totally.
finger to everyone, like fucking A. But and then when I moved house, because I missed it so much, I got a
Yeah.
bidet hose which you attach to the pipe.
Right.
Problem
yeah,
with the bidet hose is it's only cold water.
Ah.
Well, that is, it is only
Same with
cold
that
water.
one. Yeah. See,
Yeah.
the real bidet was you had the fucking hot and cold
Yeah.
taps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay, yeah,
Well, that's
yeah.
the confusing
Yeah.
thing about this is like the two little knobs that control if it squirts to the front or the back, and the power are red on one side, blue on the other. So you think it's hot and cold,
Yeah.
but you just push it the wrong way and it just squirts out between your legs.
Oh my
Well,
god.
because I think also like traditionally, I think you're supposed to sit backwards on a bidet, like facing the wall, and that's the way the squirt goes. Like,
That makes sense.
yeah. Yeah, so-
I just thought it was for women,
Ah.
so you could use it.
Oh.
No,
either
but
end.
but most people like in our sort of culture that don't have
Yeah,
bidets, they
yeah.
just treat it like a toilet, like sit on it
Yeah.
the same way.
I
Yeah,
always thought
yeah.
they were weird
Yeah.
because they didn't have a seat. It looks like
Well,
the toilet
it's-
without
okay,
the seat. And you're like,
so-
how do you even sit on this thing?
All right, education. They go side by side, so you get
Yeah.
up and spin.
Yeah.
Like so you don't.
Ah,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Makes
So you
sense.
just you pivot,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
While still
yeah.
crouching. So,
so you're not dropping shit on the floor. Like,
well, hopefully you've done it.
This
unless you pivot too hard,
This is gonna make.
and then it's on the wall.
Yeah. No. I
Wow.
can't wait to go to Ben's house now.
Thank you so much for this sticking around for this extended episode of Lucky Dip.
Of
I mean,
sorry,
yeah.
Lucky Dip.
yeah. We should play like I don't know, musical chairs with his bidet. That would be fantastic.
Lucky.
Just three dudes hanging out in Ben's bathroom, all waiting for a turn
We'll
on the
call
bidet.
it bidet dip.
You know, for over 7 years, we've been talking films on podcasts and videos and
Yeah.
things like that. Never been this excited.
Yeah, I was gonna say I've never seen Glenn react that way. He is
Yeah.
like
Something about getting old
he was
and
he was getting
and
pretty.
making your life easier.
You can watch if you look at his face closely on the video. You can see he's getting pretty upset by all of the digressions that I'm forcing us to take. And then the bidet conversation comes up, and his little face lit up like somebody
Yeah,
shined a
which is
spotlight on it.
it's the ultimate
Yeah.
digression.
yes.
Anyway, look out for our episode on bidets featured in films. Like we're going to talk about it.
Yeah.
Crocodile Dundee.
Yeah, and we'll get Jacobson
Yeah.
on the show
Yes.
because he did
Yes.
Kenny and
Yes.
Kenny's World.
Totally.
Oh, Dunny show.
A Dunny
I
show.
like it.
Oh,
I
played
like
with
We'll do Ghoulies.
yes.
We
They'll
could
get you in the
do,
end.
Yeah, they'll get
Oh.
you in the end. Yeah.
and we can drink kaiju beer while we're doing it.
I'm into it.
All right, stick around for that one. See you later, Sam.
See you, Sam.
Bye.